over the last year, we made $242,000. Why don't we take everything that we made and put that into a safe account? You don't fully know this client, really. I mean, you can continue to learn more about your clients. Like, you have what, an hour and a half with them 2 times a year, or quarterly, whatever it is, whatever structure you have set up. But it takes time.
Right now, there's this huge advent of AI, and there's so much change that's happening because of AI. And it really is one of the most incredible developments, like probably since the internet itself, because of how rapid it can develop and change and improve. And so it's really impacting the market in a big way. So we know of Anthropic, that's one of OpenAI's competitors. They have Claude, and we use Claude on a day-to-day, like trying to figure out how to make our systems better.
Welcome to the show. This is the Build Big, Live Bigger podcast. This is where you get real clarity about retirement so you can build a plan that blesses your life instead of becoming it. We'll share what you need to hear to replace worry with confidence, protect what you've built, and actually live your dreams, not your fears in retirement. Let's dive in. All right, welcome to episode 33 of the Build Big, Live Bigger podcast. My name's Jonathan Burgess, and I'm joined today by my wonderful co-host, Luke Maloney Grimes. We call him LMG, light machine gun, because that's what he is in the investment world, just knocking down good investment ideas. Actually, recently, I gave Luke, he's managing some of my assets now. So, good guy to have on your team.
Yeah, we're in the process of getting the account set up. So.
Yeah. Got to get on the other advisors, but hey, Luke's we're going to call you the investment wizard, but you pass that to all the guys. So we appreciate that.
Yeah. Thanks. Great vote of confidence though.
Yeah. So today I actually wanted to talk about, what's going on in the world. So Luke and I more or less wanted to go through some of the things that have been brought up in a lot of client meetings. I'm meeting with my current book of clients and just creating relationships every day. I had a really unique conversation yesterday, so I want to go over that. I got some of the notes. But client came to us about 14 months ago. High net worth client that had saved about $3 million, and the wife was, oddly enough, kind of the trader of the two. So cool. Yeah, and had done really well. They definitely had an active trading philosophy, which is, obviously I think is interesting, but they were both high income earners. He's a doctor, and he wanted advice. And so he ended up hiring me and moved over. I don't know, it was like $1 million, right around $1 million. And anyway, had a meeting. Their account value today, 1.283 is what it was. And whenever I met them 14 months ago, it was right at 1. So anyway, made them $242,000 in the time that they've been a client. So really awesome. But just the importance of meeting people where they're at, like older gentleman, still a doctor, just retired, and didn't want to tone back his risk level. So I was like, that's fine. We can do all equity positions, just coached them through that. And you always, people say they tailor their approach. Obviously, we're big on safe money and why it needs to be implemented. But if somebody's got a prerogative or a certain way they want to do things, telling them what they need to hear, not what they want to hear, just coaching them through and saying, hey, we can do this. But this is how it's going to act in the down market. And anyway, so we've met with them 3 times in the past 14 months. This was our 3rd time meeting with them. And we got to an interesting point in the conversation where they were talking about what they're doing in life and things like that. And I just stopped them and I was like, you want to know the really interesting piece about our relationship so far is after being married, going on 8 years, we'll be married, Samantha and I, 8 years in November. I said, I still don't fully know everything about Samantha. And that's the viewpoint that I have. I was like, honestly, I won't know everything about Samantha until I will never know everything about Samantha. Even when we're 80 or 90, I still won't have it all figured out. And I was like, that's the cool part about this relationship. I know you guys love to travel. I know, what types of trips y'all like to go on. I know that you guys have a trust because you care about your kids and your grandkids and all these things. I was like, but the thing that I've noticed about y'all over the last, 14 months, and it's just because I can see the wife's accounts too. You even though they're held away, I said, "You guys haven't taken any money out. Like, you're you know, and I don't see you guys taking a ton of money out. So for y'all to have this risk tolerance, it's not necessarily a bad thing. But, over the last year, we made $242,000. Why don't we take everything that we made and put that into a safe account?" And, so it was the first time we had implemented safe money for them, and they were like, "Jonathan, this is like the most common sense thing we needed to hear." And I was like, "Well, that's what a good advisor is. They're a sounding board. They're not like super aggressive, like this is what you have to do, but they're at least going to outline the points that they think are relevant."
And it's just going to get better over time. I mean, you made a huge improvement straight away, but over time you can hone in on things and make things even better.
Yeah. And I just think it's so cool to take and preserve a family's wealth. Like, it's just, if they never ran into me, maybe they would consider, maybe they would keep that investment strategy throughout their entire lives. But he was like, "We're going to Europe for 3 months." He was like, "I don't know what's going on in the world. I want to make sure that we're safe." And I was like, "Well, let's just take the gains and let's lock that in and make sure that you lock in your gains from the past 14 months." And he was like, "That's a great idea." And I think it's so important that families get with the right advisor, because they're not going to push you to do something that, like, they're not going to twist your arm, but at least they're going to give you all the relevant information. And over time, you start to reach this happy medium, just like a relationship where, maybe they're here, maybe you're here. And over time, you start to get that synergistic
Right.
relationship. And finally, it hits a point where,
Yeah, you find the sweet spot over time. You find what's really the most important for them and then what's actually going to work for their plan.
yeah.
Yeah.
And, just like I called, like, this guy's name's, well, I'm not going to say because he's a doctor, actually. You might be able to narrow down the results. So anyway, we'll call him Brad. Okay. His name's not Brad. But anyway, so I called him and I was like, "Hey, we have a review coming up next week. What's on your mind? Like, what are some of the things that you want to talk about?" He said, "Jonathan, earnings calls are coming up for, a lot of the Magnificent Seven this week. I'd love to get your insight on that." And the cool thing about an advisor is we have access to a ton of data. Like, think about the software stack that we have at the firm. Like, you can take all this data and then cross-reference your investment philosophies, and just the information that you can give clients, I think is, amazing. So, we set up his portfolio. We kind of co-created it. I was like, buy and hold is obviously one of our philosophies. I was like, I just want to reaffirm why a lot of these positions that we own for you are buy and hold right now. So, like, Microsoft earnings coming out tomorrow. So we're recording this on Tuesday, the 28th, but the 29th. They're working on Azure, which is their web services or cloud-based software. Earnings per share is supposed to be up 17%. Meta is working on Reality Labs, which is their AI, a piece of their AI arm. Revenue is expected to be up by 31%. Meta's been down, from year to date, but again, smaller portion of his portfolio. Hold on to that. Amazon AWS growth. So Amazon Web Services, retail margin, everything's supposed to be up by 14%. And then Apple iPhone unit cycle, service margins, and with that, revenue per share is supposed to be up 20%, or earnings per share 20%. And then one of his larger holdings, obviously he's a doctor, Lilly has Mounjaro and Zepbound, which are both diabetes and weight loss drugs. And so it was interesting the way the conversation went, but I think the world is going to more of a convenience economy. So a lot of the things that are driving the market right now are things like AI and weight loss. Like, if I could just take a shot and stick it in. Now, this guy doesn't need to lose any weight, but if I can stick it in you and you live your same lifestyle and you lose weight, like, that's cool. Whenever not a doctor, not going to talk about side effects. I definitely have a different view on some of these things. Good exercise,
right? Yeah. But it is a solid theme, like convenience. How do people's lives become easier, more streamlined? How can you get things faster? All of those kinds of things with less effort, especially in a developed country, a highly developed country like the United States, a very wealthy country, and also highest consumer country in the world by capita and by country in total. So, like, we have the means to be able to spend on these things. So it's a great theme.
Yeah. And so what stemmed from that is I was basically like, okay, let's hold on to the positions that you have now. Let's lock in the gains. Went through tax planning, all of those things. But they said, Jonathan, we love your viewpoint on the relationship side of this. Like, we feel like that's really true. And, I remember whenever Samantha and I sat with our pastor whenever we were getting marriage counseling. So, we were getting marriage counseling right before we got married. It was just, if he was going to marry you, you had to sit through some sessions with him. And he said, Jonathan, you'll never know Samantha really fully. Like, you've got all these years ahead of you in marriage, and you guys don't even have a salt and pepper shaker yet. Like, you got a lot of stuff to figure out. And it's really that way with an advisor. Like, I think so many people see this business as transactional, and it's like the plan is kind of like the salt and pepper shaker.
Right.
Right. It's like, yeah, we get to implement a lot of great things. We can make a big difference right from the get-go, but you don't fully know this client really. Like, I mean, you can continue to learn more about your clients. Like, you have what, an hour and a half with them 2 times a year, like, or quarterly, whatever it is, whatever structure you have set up. But it takes time to,
Yeah.
And I think so many people just, they look at the numbers, they look at the portfolio, and they're like, do I know the household sitting in front of me?
It's a constant discovery process, and all of the professional context that we have from our experience, our team's experience. Over time, you'll still be able to identify new gold nuggets in ways that you can help that person. So it just gets better with time.
Yeah. And the thing is, you have to do stuff like that because people normally come to us, I would say, in like life-changing moments. Like, a lot of people don't wake up and you're like, I need to work on my financial plan today. Like, I need to work on my retirement plan today. Nobody woke up this morning and they're like, maybe you did. Maybe that's why you listen to the podcast. But the percentage of the population that does, it's very low. And so it's usually a life-changing event that brings somebody to us. A market downturn,
An inheritance.
You had one, I don't know, 2 weeks ago that was, client's husband died.
Yeah.
Like,
Tragic. But she needed help, and she found us. So luckily, we're able to help streamline that process. Everything's taken care of with way less stress otherwise. So
yeah. And when they come to us in that life-changing moment, we've got a number of years to get to know this client. And I think you need to feel that from your advisor, like that they do want to get to know you over time, because in my opinion, you have pastor, doctor, financial advisor. And like, if you're ranking,
it's the top 3.
Yeah. I mean, you think about people who are dying, okay? Like, they're like, am I right spiritually? Okay. That's going to be your number one thing that you want to fix. If your health is not going the way that you want it to, it's your health. And then I would say third is your money. Like, you want to make sure financially that you're taken care of. So the process that you go through, there are so many good professionals out there. I don't want to make it sound like, we're the only people that, do this well. Like, there are but there are also a ton of people out there who do not do it the right way. And I know you've seen the good, the bad, and the ugly, but just going through and saying, beyond the money, more than money, is, do I truly have a relationship with my financial advisor?
Yeah. And can I really trust that person and that team?
Yeah, because they're going to be implementing things. Like, I think about the number of clients that we've had a spouse pass away or something like that. Generally I'll hit pause on a lot of the financial changes. I'm like, look, we're going to set everything into, whatever liquid account for the time being. This is how it's going to operate. This is how it's going to act. Let's just make sure we get it in your name, and let's meet a month from now, like after the emotions have dialed down a bit. But, you have things like that happen, life-changing events. And then you also have the feedback of listening to your clients, like calling a week before a progress report saying, how are we doing? What's on you guys' minds? Like, what are you working on right now? What are you excited about? Do you have any projects that you have coming up that you're looking forward to? Do you have, a goal that you're striving towards? And then also asking them, what do you want to know more about the market? Like, what are some of the things that you've been curious about that you want more information on? Google is a phenomenal resource. AI, ChatGPT, all those things, phenomenal resource. But at the end of the day, if that's like me going on ChatGPT right now and being like, how do I, put together a marble table.
Right.
You know, like I could chat GPT how to put this thing together, but it weighs.
Yeah. And
Like
ChatGPT
that.
is not going to help you put that thing together.
Yeah.
And
By the
bring
way, I
bring
just
context.
lifted for our listeners. I just lifted this slightly, and I'm impressed with myself.
It's
Like,
pretty impressive. This is a solid table.
yeah, I know, because y'all couldn't get it up the stairs.
I-
So anyway, we're gonna go down a little bit of a rabbit trail. Whenever we bought this building, we had this marble table shipped here, and the guys, they came to. You were one of the ones that showed up, right?
I was. I honestly,
Luke,
I can't
Luke
remember.
all of a sudden develops dementia.
Yeah,
whenever
I don't know if I
hear
can
you
remember
talk about-
this. Yeah.
Yeah. So what happened was this marble table got shipped to the office. The base of this marble table weighs like probably 400 pounds, and who came over here? You, Chris, and Teddy.
Oh, yeah. I think I remember this. Yep.
Yeah. Did y'all carry it up the stairs?
I honestly, I don't fully remember this. I don't know what it is.
He
Either
just develops dementia.
Either I have a bad memory right now, or I've blocked it out because it was that difficult. I don't know.
They did not carry it up the stairs. So anyway, they were like, Jonathan, it's too heavy. So what does Jonathan do? Jonathan drives over here, and I pull up, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to get this marble base up the stairs. And I carried the marble that in 3, you guys couldn't carry it up. And somehow me, 180 pounds soaking wet, got the thing up the stairs.
Wait, so now I'm thinking back to that time. So I think this might have been January last year, right?
Yeah. Yep.
And that time, I'm pretty sure I was in New Zealand on my New Zealand trip.
Okay. So maybe
So
it wasn't.
I think I remember actually showing up here and everything was set up.
Oh, okay.
So I'm really trying to rack my memory because
Smart.
I swear I don't remember that.
Yeah.
But
I'm
anyway.
calling out. I'm calling out Teddy, Chris,
Okay, yeah.
and
Yeah,
they,
not me. I would have been fine.
Anyway.
If retirement clarity matters to you, don't wait. Text BOOK to 864-920-3155 or click the link in the description below to get a free copy of Jonathan's book, Retire Right.
Give these guys a financial plan, they can figure it out.
Yeah,
Give them a marble table base. They're like, I'm from Union though. We're corn fed down there. But anyway, so going back to the marble table example, some of y'all are like, oh my God, Jonathan, it's okay. But if I looked up how to create this marble table, you could get all the instructions. But am I going to pop out with a chisel and just start tinkering this? No, like it's just not. So at the end of the day, you have to have the expertise behind the information.
Yeah, and the proactivity too. Like ChatGPT is not going to be like hanging out with you every day, like reaching out to you to like make things happen. They have the like advisors, us, like we have the proactivity. We're there to really try and probe and figure out what's going to be helping you, and also we actually help make it happen, not just give you answers like Google will.
So whenever you think about what's going on in the world right now, Luke, I know you and I have talked about AI a bunch on the podcast, and we've talked about, how the market grows based on some of these factors. But what are some of the things that you're talking about with clients right now that's front of mind for them?
Sure. Well, it depends on that person's situation, how deep they want to go. But like from me watching the market, there's always so much going on. There's always something to worry about. So obviously, again, it goes without saying, building the plan that fits for you and your situation, having safe money in place with a good plan. But when it comes to like the stock market, again, there's always so much going on. It feels like it's always been very volatile in the now, but it's kind of always been that way. There's always been things going on. But right now there's this huge advent of AI, and there's so much change that's happening because of AI. And it really is one of the most incredible developments, like probably since the internet itself, because of how rapid it can develop and change and improve. And so it's really impacting the market in a big way. So we know of Anthropic, that's one of OpenAI's competitors. They have Claude, and we use Claude on a day-to-day, like trying to figure out how to make our systems better. And the developments that are coming out of that are just so fast and so rapid. So each new product that they're putting out, each new iteration of the products that they have, that alone is moving the market in a massive way. So like Claude came out with like a new product called Mythos about a month ago. And it's basically like a cybersecurity threat tester, essentially. And it was it's still in a container, so it's not like loose in a way, not loose on the internet. They have a container where it's set up and it tests certain applications or even browsers. Like think of like Chrome, or think of like security for a bank, those kinds of things. Every single application that it was tested on found holes in their system and
Wow.
found ways to hack it.
Mm.
So there's just so much in terms of development and that rapid change, and it can be nerve-wracking. But with all of this that's going on, there's going to be the good players, the bad players. It's just something that we watch all the time, and
Yeah.
this is gonna impact many, many companies.
Yeah.
But
I think one of the things with AI that, like, if I'm being vulnerable and scares me about the world is, can a company be hacked? Like, how safe is your data? And that's one of the things that we went through. I mean, we engaged a company to become SOC 2 compliant, which, by the way, none of you listening to this right now probably know what SOC 2 compliance is. It's basically the highest standard of cybersecurity that you can have. So, that's not an SEC requirement, but we invested in a program that now makes us SOC 2 compliant. So we're on the way to getting that. But, being a fiduciary of financial data, like asking questions like this to advisors, like, hey, bring it up to a firm owner the next time you sit around and like, hey, what are you doing to become SOC 2 compliant? Like, if they don't have an answer to that in the AI age, like,
how can you be at the forefront, best of the best in security?
Yeah. And then you pair that with expertise. Like, I think about the investments that we just made on the compliance hub, hiring the former chief compliance officer of Fifth Third Bank. Like, he's not a fractional, like, this guy's down in Charleston. So shout out to John Obeck. But, investing in people like that, investing in, obviously, we've got the current chief securities examiner of the state of South Carolina coming on the team. Like, just the investment that you make in people paired with AI and paired with good technology, I think is how you create a company that lasts 100 years.
Yeah.
And it's how you safeguard and protect client assets. Like, to me, that's so important. So whenever you think about something like AI and I know you just brought up a bunch of use cases, but what are your thoughts on, okay, you've got this whole AI revolution that's going on right now, paired with high cost of oil and gas, high cost of transporting goods and services. Like, what comes to your mind whenever you think about those two things in tandem?
Well, Charlie Munger called like the economy a complex adaptive system. So like anything that changes or any impact, it's going to have ripple effects, and then all of those ripple effects cause other ripple effects. So there's so much that's always going on, and it's impossible to fully analyze. You can just stick to your core values and a really strong process, and making sure you're solid in those, because ultimately we can analyze and overanalyze forever. But ultimately, if you want results, just you stick to those strong value points.
Awesome. Last question I'm going to ask you, because you got something exciting coming up at the end of this month.
Yeah. Actually, in a couple days. Yeah.
So you're going to the Berkshire Hathaway annual conference.
Yeah, that's right. Very soon. On Thursday, actually, I'm flying out over there. So 2 days.
So I want to know, just so I can hold you accountable, what's your main intention as you go there? What are you wanting to learn more about? And then what are some of the things that we can expect for you to talk about in the next podcast?
Yeah, sure. I think the most important intention for me is being open-minded and just being open to the experience and meeting interesting people, and just being open to those conversations, because when you go to a conference like this, it's the biggest investing conference in the world, and everyone that shows up there, these are incredible people, either super successful investors and business people, or very motivated, successful business people and investors. So everyone that you talk with, it's going to be an interesting conversation. So one of the best networking events is waiting in line in the beginning, like at the beginning of the day. That line starts to form usually around like 4 a.m.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because then they open up the gates at like 7 a.m. So you have this huge crowd of people just kind of hanging out, talking. So it's just those moments in between the major events where you can really connect with these people and just like spark up those conversations. So
I'm going to challenge you to do something, because I've done this. You should, as you're in line, ask people, can you show me your personal portfolio?
I've never thought to ask that. Is that not too personal?
It could be, but the thing is, like, you ask people that all the time whenever they come into the office.
Right, yeah.
I have done that in cases where, somebody's talking about the success
Yeah.
they created, and I'll ask them, I'll be like, hey, can I see your personal portfolio? You would be surprised the number of people that will actually show you.
Yeah,
And
I'll think about that one.
I've seen larger numbers on balance sheets in situations like that than I've ever seen like walk in the front door. So but it's interesting to ask them like, how'd you get there? What'd you do?
Yeah.
Because somebody can say, hey, they can be talking to you about all these concepts. I've also had the opposite happen where I'm like, ooh, this person really isn't. But it's a gauge of, are they actually successful?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Usually, the questions that I'll ask in these types of situations is like, what investments are you excited about? What are you looking into?
Yeah.
What is getting you excited about the market right now? Those kinds of things. And what do you do? How did you get there?
I just always love stuff that pushes the envelope.
Yeah.
I mean, that really, like, if you think about, like, whenever you walk up to me and you say, how are you doing? What do I say?
Oh, best day of my life.
Every time.
Every time.
Because it's a pattern interrupt. Like, so many people are just, like, coasting through, and you have this autonomous response. Like, that, to me, if I were standing in that line, I'm telling you personally a question that I would ask, not to say that you have to.
Yeah.
I would say,
that's
as they're talking about ideas, I'd be like, can I see your personal portfolio?
I do like that because it is a pattern interrupt, and it is like it's something memorable because someone's.
What's the worst thing that could happen?
Yeah, true.
Let's say no.
Yeah, move on.
Yeah. So, all right, now you guys know I'm absolutely, y'all are like, Jonathan is on a different, different wavelength. But hey, I believe you have to do stuff like that to truly be successful. You have to.
And I'm open to everything that you have to teach and offer too, because you've gone here for a reason. So I'm open to all of that.
Awesome. Well, on episode 34, you're gonna get to hear about all the interesting interactions Luke had in line about asking people to see their personal portfolios. I cannot wait.
I'll think about that.
I cannot wait to hear what happens. So, I mean, what are they going to do to you? They can't, like, you're not,
I'll ask some good questions.
Yeah,
put it that way.
I'll see if he broke outside of the box.
Yeah.
So anyway, thanks for listening to episode 33 of the Build Big Live Bigger podcast. Go out there, be bold in your approach, and do everything you can to make sure your family and you have the best possible retirement. We'll catch you on the next one.